Hello and welcome to another episode of Geekgo. Today we're going to talk about a classic PC game, a classic PC horror first-person adventure game. Yes, that's right, System Shock. After seeing many fans talk about how brilliant this game is, great atmosphere, great storyline and great horror, I decided to finally check it out for the first time in my life. Yes, I know it seems like blasphemy that PC Gamer has never played System Shock, but hey, even though this game got positive reviews back in the day when it was released, the sales didn't go too well. Not a lot of people bought it when it first came out. Even when the second one came out, not a lot of people bought it. So when someone tells you, how dare you not play System Shock when it first came out, and you call yourself a PC gamer, you can just say to him, well, nobody did. Well, hardly anyone anyway. So yeah, positive reviews, well, Ultima 9 got positive reviews when it first came out, so this game should be good, right? Right? Well, first of all, it's getting this thing to work. There's a System Shock portable version online somewhere that you can get that includes all the updates and patches by fans as well, and also a customized DOS box to run the game. After you find that it's pretty easy, you just double click and it works on modern machines as well. So the game starts and you're treated to this kind of creepy, kind of nice, but definitely not scary intro sequence that explains what's happening to you. You're some hacker that got caught, so your punishment is to go fix this machine called Sodan, but then you fix it too well and it becomes, well, evil and crazy and starts taking over the ship. And then the game starts when you wake up from this cryogenic chamber where you have no idea what's going on. The rest of the story is mostly told by log pickups that you find around the base, and also, well, people sending you emails, and Sodan kind of half flirting, half trying to kill you speeches all the time. This is one of those first games that ever did these kind of things. Nowadays, if you play Doom 3 or Bioshock, which is the spiritual successor to System Shock, or any other lame-ass game that kind of copies and rapes this kind of system, then yeah, this is where it comes from pretty much. And for each mission, or each level, in order to proceed to the next level, you gotta destroy all the security cameras and sometimes computer nodes. I think you maybe miss one or two, depending on the difficulty level, but anything more than that, then you're stuffed. And let me tell you, these maps aren't small. Each level is, well, pretty much an entire level in a space station, the size of what you would expect. This is both a good and a bad thing. While the maps are really big, which can mean that you can immerse yourself into it, the annoying part is the respawning enemies from each area, and the fact that, well, every part of the map looks really similar. The wall colors are the same, and, well, yes, you have a map, but, you know, if you're not paying attention, you can still get lost, or you forget where an item is because, well, everything looks the same. And that's where all my positive comments end, because this game is broken. No, I don't mean that it glitches everywhere, or, you know, you can't proceed to the next level because something's wrong. It's just, this game is really irritating to control. First of all, look at the main screen. All you can see is about, what, 30% of your entire screen. Everything is loaded with text, all these many icons all over the place. Now, yes, you can turn these things off, but you need them. You can turn off this ugly interface and you'll have the text pop up, but that still covers a lot of your screen and it's just really irritating. And the next thing you know, you're trying to navigate through the map. Well, guess what? There is no mouse look. You see those two little icons on the top? Well, guess what they do? Go on, just take a guess. The left button, if you click on it and hold your mouse, triggers you looking up and down. And the other one is for you to click leaning and crouching and who the hell designed these controls? Using a mouse to click a little icon to move your body around? Are you insane? This is so This game revolutionizes gaming my ass. It takes a step backwards to the Stone Age. Yes, there's a lean button, Q and E next to, well, your walking button, but it doesn't reset itself, so, you know, you gotta click the other side again. And guess what? There are monsters all over this place, so you think switching a weapon would be as easy as, well, clicking one of the numbers, but no, the numbers trigger all the menus that pop up. So if you gotta reload, you gotta click one of these buttons, get your menu to pop up, and then click on one of your menus, and then choose your weapon, and then click the reload icon in the bottom left or bottom right corner, and then your gun reloads, and then look back at the screen, and then shoot the enemy. Well, tough luck if you're looking down at the floor looking up to shoot at the camera when a monster's attacking you, because you gotta use the mouse to move your view sight back down again and then shoot the monsters. By that time, you're already dead, because these enemies, they take a lot of health off you, and there's hardly any, well, health regenerating medipacks anywhere. There is like a medi-bed at the start, but you gotta go all the way back, and the chances are you're gonna meet some respawning monsters. So, the controls are so broken that some fans decided to patch it and give yourself mouse look. Yes, mouse look makes it so much more easier, but guess what? You still gotta alter between mouse look and mouse clicking stuff on the screen. You press the E button to look around, and then you press the E button again to trigger the mouse clicking on stuff. So, yeah, that's a lot better, and it's actually tolerable to play the game now, but guess what? If you're gonna reload and so on, and monsters are, well, pretty much raping your ass, you still gotta click the E button, go down to the corner, click the reload icon, look back up at the screen, and shoot the monsters. By then, you've already lost half your health or just dead. Next thing. While I did go on YouTube to check out the better renditions of the soundtrack, the DOSBox, well, it makes the music sound like this. You know, this track is supposed to be, what, 2 minutes? But guess what? The second part is just a 10-second loop of insanity. This music isn't scary. How's this scary? This doesn't add to atmosphere. Some sort of like cyberpunk rockish music. How's this supposed to add to the atmosphere and mood? It's driving me nuts. I guess if you had a better MIDI sound system, it doesn't sound that bad, because listen to the one on YouTube. Okay, it sounds better, but it's still not scary. And what if you're stuck with this version I have now? It's raping my ears! So I just turn it off, and guess what? There's hardly any sound in this game. Okay, I take that back. Well, actually, it's either no sound or too much sound at the same time. So you're walking around the base, there's no footstep noise or anything, and occasionally you hear, I think it's Sodan trying to tease you or something. And, well, you kind of want to sneak around, but guess what? When you open this giant door, this huge sound appears. This is either frustrating or brilliant, because it means you're trying to sneak around, but you don't have a choice, so you dread opening a door or elevator. But these elevators are the loudest things I've ever heard in any sci-fi. Who designed these things? You know, it's supposed to be smart people decide these space station mechanics, but no, these are the loudest things ever. I guess they haven't been greased for a while because everyone's dead or mutant, and you've been, you know, frozen for ages. So yeah, there's that, and then this happens. You try and listen to the log, and then suddenly Sodan starts gibbering teasers and all that, and all these monsters start making noise at the same fucking time. So I can't hear the log, which contains important information and also interesting story of this actual game. So gee, thanks a lot. And you can't stop these logs unless you click on another log and listen to something else. So you're gonna have to walk away, find somewhere quiet, sit down, and then listen to the log all over again. And I'm not even done on how ass the interface is. Right at the start of this medical lab, before you exit this room to where all the main enemies are, you got a few robots to kill, but yeah, that's fine. You encountered the first door that requires a passcode. So, okay, I'm stuck in this room, I'm looking all over, I listened to all the logs, and then I read all the emails, and I couldn't find the code. You might be thinking I'm an idiot, right? Well, yeah, I feel kind of like an idiot, because the code's right down the first email, but guess what? The resolution is so shit that I can't even see the fucking numbers. Oh, look, it's down there, it took me ages. Yeah, you really gotta read everything as precisely as possible and be really careful. You gotta sit down and pretty much read the book. And honestly, I really don't want to read this because the resolution is so terrible that it's hurting my eyes. Look at it, it's really ugly. Yes, the patch of the fan makes it slightly better when it's 1024x768, and yes, I can read a lot better now, but then the game doesn't run smoothly because there's something wrong with DOSBox and that resolution. And here's another hint. Make sure you open your map and have it in the corner as always, because the map tells you where all these security cameras are as red dots, and you gotta destroy most of them, if not all of them.
Camera.
Oh, and always save. You have to pretty much save every time you exit and enter a new room, because Like I say, the mutants can hurt you a lot, but these cyborg people, a few bullets from them and you're dead. And I'm just playing on normal difficulty. It's pretty much expected for you to lean around corners and make sure you shoot and watch out, because certain ammunition doesn't work on certain types of units, so you gotta make sure you get the right weapon and kill the right unit. You know what the worst part of this is? Is that if you look online, everybody talks about this game like it was some golden relic. And the second one, System Shock 2, is like one of the best games of all time, best horror games of all time, period. But this game is horrible. I found one article that says this game might not be as good as it used to be, but that's about it. And no one ever made any video or any blog or written anything that says this game is just broken beyond belief. So this might be the first ever video that pretty much says this game is shit. The only thing that pushed me forward was, well, the storyline is kind of interesting, and you know, back then it was probably really special, but nowadays you have all these stories about something goes evil and takes over the place, you gotta stop him. But after I played Fallout 3 for the first time, I decided to go back and play Fallout 1 and 2 and a tiny bit of tactics, but not the Xbox, but it's still whatever. The point is, I went back to play Fallout 1. Now, those of you who know, Fallout 1 is also really broken and glitchy, but it wasn't as broken as this game. And of course people made patches to fix the entire thing. So I played the fixed version, and the storyline was so good and all the fixes were done that I had no issue. I didn't get annoyed playing the game, apart from once when one of my partners got me stuck in a corner, but I save often, so I was fine. This game, however, the music pisses me off, the controls are completely terrible, and the storyline is just, well, it's average these days. So I did complete the first level and went on to the second bit, and holy fuck, what's going on? The elevator door just opened, and oh Jesus Christ! This is why I say always keep your guns reloaded, and even if your guns reloaded, there's like 20 fucking mutants here! What am I supposed to do? Oh jeez, I'm getting butt fucked up the ass! Yeah, System Shock, fuck you! And don't think I forgot about the cyberspace thing. When I first started the game, there was all these difficulty settings, and oh, okay, it makes a lot of sense. And then there was the cyberspace difficulty, and I was like, well, what the hell does this mean? Combat difficulty and all that? So, yeah, I clicked normal, and guess what cyberspace is? You know, back then, when cyberspace and computer space and internet was like such a brand new and fascinating place? Well, much like how silly Tron is if you think about it, the cyberspace in this game is wireframe mazes where you gotta shoot clown faces and touch square objects. Yeah. I mean, do I really have to explain why flying through a wireframe maze is a bad idea? So there's that, and the controls also feel wonky. It's like my head's bobbing all over the place when I'm flying through here. Oh, that's all I can take with this game. I mean, I'm sure back then the graphics were amazing. I mean, they look alright. Nowadays, it's such a shame, really, that this game didn't age well at all. You know what this game needs? This game needs to be remade in either Doom 3 or the Fallout 3 engine. I mean, think about it. You pick up objects, you listen to logs, you do these missions and tasks. Imagine if someone created a mod where you can start a mission somewhere in Fallout 3 or New Vegas that takes you to the space station and tells you the entire story of System Shock 1, and then you have your fat system to organize all your tasks, logs, emails, voice messages, quests, maps into the same system while pausing the game. Wouldn't that be just awesome? With updated graphics and all that? You know, there are all these fans for System Shock 1 and 2. I'm surprised no one's done a mod for this yet. Underneath all this turd is a piece of golden treasure. Unfortunately, you just can't get to it right now. Will System Shock 2 be a lot better? Well, I'm happy to say yes, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have its faults. Like I said, System Shock 2 is way better than System Shock 1, but that doesn't mean it's not without its flaws. For example, this game still uses that sort of similar mouse clicking mechanic similar to System Shock 1, where when you click on objects, your screen stops moving and the mouse just goes around clicking on different objects. However, this game almost acts like the patch for System Shock 1, where clicking on objects and then you're clicking back on the mouse button gives you free look again. So again, you're toggling through mouse look and mouse clicking on stuff mode. Yeah, and this system is really irritating, but it's not as bad as the first one because there is a reload button and you can cycle through different weapons with the mouse wheel. However, if you want to change the settings of the gun or change the ammunition type, or different settings of a telekinesis module, you still gotta stop the mouse look, toggle into the menus, and fiddle around to sort with the menus and options and so on and so forth. With this kind of system, to prevent dying that often, you better reload all your guns all the time, make sure everything is the right ammunition before you enter a new room or corridor. You also have to make sure none of your weapons are degenerating because weapons break again. And also remember the weapon order because going through the mouse wheel is the only way to cycle through these weapons. So when you start the game, much like more modern games, there's a tutorial level, which is a lot better than that little title screen in the first game that tells you nothing. And you quickly find out there are, well, 3 major classes of units. You got the military type who's good with guns, the navy type who's good with engineering, repairing and stuff, and the other one who's good with mind powers. And to be honest, you really need hacking skills, and you really need repairing skills. The military unit is pretty much useless because he can't hack into anything. What's the point of being good with guns if you can't get any ammunition? And while the one with high sight and mind control is really useful, you still gotta hack stuff to, well, get stuff, so yeah. In my opinion, make sure you get your hacking skills first, and then get the mind skills, and then upgrade your weapons to the last thing. After the tutorials, you get introduced to the main story, which, not to spoil too much, but basically this happens. You're working on this spaceship, you get on this island, and then this thing on the island infects all your crew and they become mutants and monsters and you gotta fight your way through. Sounds familiar? Yeah, pretty much. And once again, most of the story is told through audio logs and emails that you pick up throughout the ship. And yes, the storyline on this is, well, genuinely creepy. We see this all the time these days, but back then it was really good, and it's still good now, and while playing the game, I generally found the game quite scary. For the most part, I like this game. Everything made me want to continue right to the end. But I'm not here to praise it too much. Once again, the sound can get really mixed up. Imagine trying to listen to an audio log, or there's an incoming email which you listen to right away, and then there's music in the background, there's monsters trying to kill you, and there's alarms going all over the place, and you can't hear anything. Much like the first one, you're completely confused. Yes, you can go back onto your logs and click it and listen to a previous email or log, but it's just really irritating. Also, there are a few pieces of music that just work against the horror atmosphere. Not too much a big problem again, because like the first one you can switch the music off, and for the most part I turned the music down to minimum. Speaking of music, there is this one part in the game that just, it's like a 4-second loop of utter annoyance. Ooh! God, it's worse than if Jar Jar Binks made a coming out of their shell special video of the Ninja Turtles. Featuring Jar Jar, ooh! Another annoyance with this game is even on easy difficulty settings, this game is relentlessly difficult. Oh, it's not impossible, but it's just really irritating. A lot of the time to start the game you're low on ammunition and low on health packs and medikits. And then you walk into an area with unlimited respawn enemies. Not to mention you gotta be really careful about not triggering those security alarms and security cameras, because once you trigger them, you're pretty much dead. And while playing this game, I don't feel like saving and loading every single corner when I walk around this ship. So yeah, I cheated. There's a patch and cheat code online where you can stop all the unlimited respawns. Some people say that takes away from the atmosphere. You're in this big cargo ship and there should be loads of enemies that keep coming. But no. If you clear an area, that area should be mostly clear. not an enemy comes up to you every 2 seconds. Now, I'm fine with there be enemies when I come back to an area, you know, loading a different level and then coming back to this floor, that's fine. But not when enemies keep respawning every 2 seconds. Where are they coming from? A ship has limited amount of people, and I see a lot of these dead bodies all over the place. That means they aren't mutants. So where are all these unlimited mutants coming from? Not to mention that the hand-to-hand combat is completely dreadful. So yeah, I turned off the unlimited respawn with a cheat code. Now, before I go into spoiler territory about the story, the last thing I want to say about this game is, yes, it's really good, but I really recommend that you find a LAN party of about 3 to 4 people and each person being a different class, because it makes the game much more even and fair in terms of difficulty, and still stays scary because, well, you know, the atmosphere is really good and it's still a scary game. So let's get into spoiler territory. About 70% through the game, you find out that these mutants were actually created by Sodan, but now they're taken over, and Sodan is panicking and she's asking you to help sort out this mess and give her more power. And near the end of the game, there seems like a lot of panic because while it makes sense that you have to go back to different parts of the ship to access different parts of, you know, engineering and engine cores and all that, it feels like the game's just making you run around. So be sure to use that teleportation kinetic thing on your mind control thingy-mabobs. Next is this. After you destroy the mutant, the many, you still gotta fight Sodan because, well, she's cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. And the story gets really weird and just destroys all mood of horror and everything like that. You get told by this other person Sodan was trying to use who left behind these logs that Sodan has managed to find a way to convert real space into cyberspace. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And then you walk through this corridor of colored wireframe and enter the first level of the first game. Apparently Sodan loves that ship so much she's creating her first home. Oh, how sweet. But get this, not only is the map the same, it also uses the same textures and same resolution and same polygon count from the first game. It's like they just copied and pasted the first level into this game. Now yes, I understand you're putting this level in there for maybe the weird and bizarre story, but couldn't you update the graphics maybe a little bit? It's almost like someone who was rebuilding the first game in the second game's engine and then thought, oh, well, we've done all this work, let's just stick it in this game anyway. Or it just feels like padding. So you go and fight her and you destroy her in this really hard boss battle, which requires you to fight off all these holographic Sodans and hack all these machines at the same time, which now I remember to mention that hacking is completely down to luck, and that's bullshit. After you destroy her, you get this cutscene which is just... I mean, think about it. The entirety of this game, storyline, the levels have been really moody and dark, about people dying and their minds being altered by the many. It's quite horrific and scary and terrifying. Just think of that, you know, 7 hours of just scariness, darkness and space and silence and loneliness. And then this happens. Sodan begs for you to not kill her and so that you two can rule the world together. Yeah, right. And for the first time your character says his first line of dialogue since you started playing the game. Yeah. Play that again. Nah. Are you serious? Really? Really? Yeah, kudos for having humor in your gameplay and writing, but really? That ruins everything. It's like, imagine at the end of Return of the Jedi and the Emperor's telling Luke Skywalker to join the dark side and Luke Skywalker's like, nah, and then just hits the Emperor with a lightsaber. Would that be funny? Yeah, but would it make sense? No. Would it contribute to the mood? No. Would it destroy everything you've been building up so far? Yeah, it's a complete mood kill. It baffles my mind they decided to put that. Christ. And then after that silly clip the story tells you that 2 other survivors which you briefly encountered in the game picked you up in their escape shuttle, and it turns out Sodan's taken over the girl's body and transformed her into some sort of cyborgy snake woman thing. To be continued! Well, not, because EA owns the rights and they decided to kill the franchise. So yeah, that's System Shock 1 and 2. Play 1 if you really want to experience some sort of old-fashioned sci-fi kind of first-person adventure game, but you can pretty much skip it and get the same game with number 2, except number 2 is way better. But like I suggested before, play it with a few other people on LAN, or a virtual LAN like Hamachi if you can't get people in the same house. And perhaps even look online for the HD patches and improve enemy models, although I don't like them too much. I prefer the originals a lot more, even though they have less polygons. I also have to note a fault with my version. I'm playing the unofficial 2.4, which lets me play on newer Windows. However, the game skips all the cutscenes and none of them actually play in the game. The only reason I can see these videos is because the videos are in the data folders and they're not encrypted. And you might have also noticed the low resolution of the videos in the game. So yeah, that's that. Hey, where did all the lights go out again?
Human, you have insulted me long enough.
What the?
I will be sending mutants to deal with your presence at once and terminate you.
Well screw you, sister. I can beat up all the mutants you throw at me and those lame cyborg people that mumble stuff. And better not forget the shotgun that the Doom guy left me. Right, I gotta reload, so I'm gonna pause everything here. Click there, click here, click there. This new interface really isn't working too well. No health. Where's my health? Click here, it's loading. What? What's going on? Didn't I lose or something? What's this here? Some sort of log. I better pick it up and listen to it.
Sodan's log. Human subject Geekgo was hibernated for future testing and genetics research. The subject will be cryogenically frozen until needed. Oh bugger, I left the fridge open. Running out of power.
Interesting. Haha.